Showcasing local talent, professionals, and everyday people making Salt Lake City what it is today. It's time for another episode of the I Am Salt Lake podcast.
Recording out of beautiful downtown Salt Lake City, Utah. Welcome to episode 60 of the I Am Salt Lake podcast. My name is Chris Hollifield. I am the host. Welcome to my show. IamSaltLake.com is the website where you can find everything podcast related. You can find all the previous episodes there where you can download them. You can stream them online. Also have links for iTunes and Stitcher Radio so you could subscribe. And that way you do not miss a single episode of the show. Hey, I got a great episode for you guys tonight. Sat down with Kat Palmer and Dyer from the Utah Arts Alliance, took my podcasting gear on the road, and went down to the Utah Arts Gallery down at the Gateway, down, I believe it's where the American Eagle store used to be. Took it down there. We had a great conversation, with Kat Palmer about her photography and how she is the curator of the gallery there, and we talked about the gallery. And then I had a chance, Dyer came into the conversation a little bit later on, and we talked about his role and what he's done with the Utah Arts Alliance and kind of how he's helped build that and what to expect and some of the events that are going on with the Utah Arts Alliance. Really great organization. Check them out at the utah.arts.org where you can get in contact with them. I put all the show notes at IamSaltLake.com/episode 60. I end this episode playing a track from one of my favorite artists, Baby Ghosts. It's one of my favorite songs. It's called Your Dad's Friends Were Babies Anyways. That's how I end out episode 60 with the Utah Arts Alliance, Kat Palmer and Dyer. Let's jump into that conversation that I had with him down at the Utah Arts Gallery down at the Gateway in Salt Lake City, Utah. Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit, kind of tell the listeners who you are and what it is that you do and
Sure. Well, I am photographer and mixed media artist Kat Palmer, and I guess I'm mainly known for my mixed media pieces empowering women with sometimes a bit of a political feel. And I've been doing that for almost a decade now as far as my art here in the Salt Lake community. I'm also the curator and director of the Urban Arts Gallery, and that's located in the Gateway Mall. And
that's actually where we're recording right now, actually.
Yeah.
So thank you for having me and letting me talk to you.
Thanks for coming in.
What got you interested in photography? Start a little bit about that in your personal adventures through photography.
Well, I was 15 years old. So, we're looking at 18 years ago. I picked up a camera and I started in film, of course, because, digital photography didn't exist 18 years ago, but at least not on the scale it does right now. And I was 15 years old, picked up a camera. I had an amazing art teacher, a photography teacher in high school. I went to Villa Park High School in Orange County, California. And from there, I got kind of addicted to being in the darkroom. My first roll of film was shooting homeless people in Los Angeles.
Wow.
Our teacher was amazing. He would take us on field trips to really great areas, and he encouraged us. I've never seen a teacher like this. My senior year, so I took a few years of photography in high school. I was at the point where I was writing my own curriculum as far as I got to do independent study in photography, and I was taking 2 photography classes, and he would let me shoot nudes. He was amazing.
In high school, you were shooting nudes.
Yeah, he was amazing. I wrote my own curriculum and my own, just what I was going to be turning in and doing throughout the year. And he let me do it. He's like, as long as it's tasteful, go for it. And he is the first one that introduced me to Diane Arbus. And he said, do you know who she is? He's like, you kind of remind me of her a little bit. And I didn't, I was 15. I hadn't, I don't know what 15-year-olds have heard of Dyer, but I went and looked her up and I just fell in love. And by looked her up, meaning I checked out a book from the library and looked her up because we didn't have, the internet. But, and I just fell in love with her and how she captured people and how she captured a part of society that majority of society had shunned. And I just ate her up. And so, that's how I got my start. And I was also shooting people in Mexico. I mainly loved shooting homeless people in my
and do you have
early
any
years.
crazy stories? I mean,
I do.
Of homeless people attacking you or being like,
no,
what are you taking my
you know what?
for?
And it's funny, the only time that I've been a little bit fearful was here in Salt Lake. I've never, for some reason, I think I lacked that fear chip in my brain and as a teenager. And I would go around, when I was a teenager filming these silly little home movie documentaries, and I would interview people on the streets wherever I'd go. That's just what I did. And I look back now and I think, I could have died. Like there were so many times where I would meet strangers and I would welcome them into my home, and I would meet people traveling around the world, and I'd say, hey, when you're in LA, look me up. And they would, and I'd let them sleep in my backyard because it was warm. And
these were homeless people.
Not always.
Not
the
always.
People that I would meet traveling, they were from other countries just traveling around for the summer. But no, the homeless people, there was one lady, I let her come do her laundry at my house. And
this was in Utah or California?
California.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had a trusting nature, but so the one story, probably my best one,
just share one.
Yeah, my best one.
Because I've always wanted to actually interview homeless people myself, but it makes me nervous. It's like,
right. I know. It's very vulnerable, and you don't know who you're dealing with. It's a stranger like anybody else, but of course you have a lot of mental illness that's usually going on in that community. Yeah. And so it can be scary, but I used to spend my weekends when I was 17 in Hollywood, and I would go up there and I'd shoot. And I ran into these two people, Spoon and Squid, and they were homeless punk rockers, and they lived. Spoon was the woman, and she was 19 at the time, and she'd lived on the street since she was 15. Her dad, he went out to get a pack of cigarettes one day and never returned. Squid, I don't know his backstory as much. Recently, in this last year, I actually have found out more of his backstory, but he was 23 at the time. And they were living on the streets, and they were panhandling, and most of their money did go to alcohol. That's how they spent most of their money. And but they were interesting and they were funny, and I would film them for my little documentary I was making, and I would take pictures of them. Well, I was back in school on Monday developing my film, and I walked away from it for about 10 seconds to grab something from my desk, and this cheerleader girl in my class, she came and she opened up the canister, and I started freaking out. I was just like, what are you doing? Like, don't do that. Don't do that. And she's like, I'll give you $1.50. I'll replace your film. And I said, no, you don't. I don't care about the $1.50 to replace my film. I said, these were homeless people I was shooting. Like, I don't even know how to track them down. This is in the day before cell phones, Yeah. And so I start calling local homeless shelters in that area that I knew they frequented, and I track them down. I start leaving messages at every homeless shelter. Spoon and Squid, they're punk rockers. They're easy to find as far as like homeless shelters go. So finally someone gets them in touch with me, and they're able to call me, and I say, I'm so sorry, but can I give you money? Can I come back next weekend and shoot you again? And so they said, sure, you're giving us money. Absolutely. So I go back to LA that next weekend, and I shoot them again, and I reshoot them. And we got some amazing photographs of these two. And so the story goes, so it continues on. That year I graduate from high school. I'm up in San Francisco interviewing people on the streets of San Francisco, and I run into these two homeless punk rockers, and I thought, oh, God, you guys really remind me of Spoon and Squid. They just had that feel, that feel, that Spoon and Squid. They're like, we know Spoon and Squid. They're coming up next week. And I'm like, oh, that's just a small, weird world. LA, San Francisco, they're not exactly close. So it continues on. A year goes by. I'm at a show in Orange County, and I'm in the bathroom, and this girl walks in, and I'm like, gosh, she looks familiar. And as she's using the restroom, urinating, I'm sitting there thinking, this girl looks really familiar. She comes out, and I said, I know you. I ran into you a year ago on the streets of San Francisco. I know you. I was the girl with the camera that was showing you how to use it. And she's like, oh my gosh. She's like, did you hear what happened to Spoon and Squid? And I said, no. I lost touch with them once after I graduated high school. And she said, well, Spoon was drunk. She walks in on Squid cutting another girl's hair. She flips out. She stabs him to death with the scissors, and she's now in prison. She's now in LA County Jail. No, it gets crazier. Okay. And I'm just like, no way. Like, no way. Okay. So fast forward another year. Okay. Maybe 6 months. I can't remember. This has been so long.
No, this story is fascinating.
Oh, it's crazy. So now I'm heading to my friend's. He managed a vintage clothing shop his name's Damien Sutsamita. And I went to college with him, and he's managing this vintage clothing shop, I think down in Huntington Beach. And I get in there, and he knows I'm into documentaries. I still am to this day. I've just been obsessed with documentaries since I was a kid. And I get in there, and he's like, "Hey, there's this new documentary out. You should check it out." And he hands me the flyer, and I still have the flyer to this day. I don't know if he knows this, but I still have the flyer to this day. It's in my journal. And I'm looking at this flyer, and I'm like, what in the hell? And on it, it says The Decline of the Western Civilization Part 3. And there are a whole bunch of punk rockers walking. Like it's a candid shot of these punk rockers walking. I'm like, that's Spoon and Squid. Like, what's going on here? Like, I know these people. I know these punk rockers. Like, I used to film them. And so I instantly go out and watch this film that was in theaters at the time. And they are two of the main characters. Penelope Spheris had done a set of 3 documentaries. In the 70s, she started with The Decline of a Civilization Part 1, and that was of the first movement of the punk rock movement of the 70s. She did Part 2 in the 80s of the Hessian movement of the 80s. And then she does Part 3 in the 90s of the new wave of punk rockers. And I'm watching this film, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like, this is crazy. She's filming at the same time I was filming these people. I had no idea. And at the end of the film, it says, Squid died on this date, and then it shows Spoon's face, and she's now awaiting trial for his murder. And I'm just thinking, holy cow, like, it was just wild. They're about to release the whole set. It's never been released. It's never been released. It was only in theaters for that short time, and they're about to release the whole box set. And I am so excited to finally be able to own this.
Where can you find it?
Right now, it's not available. I was actually in contact with Penelope Spheris not too long ago, talking about another project I was wanting to work on, but it hasn't been released yet. I think you just have to Google it and follow her. I just follow her on Facebook
say
now.
The name again one more time.
It's Penelope Spheris, and her last name is Sphe. I think Eris is how her last name is spelled. And she did movies like Mallrats, and she did like some other movies.
I'm going to have to check that out.
But yeah, it's an amazing series of documentaries. So that was probably my most interesting encounter with homeless people. And I have hours of footage of these two that I was filming at the time. But it was wild. I mean, since then, some people have tracked me down because they know of my images of them from the 90s, and they'll give me more information about Spoon and Squid. So it's weird that I've learned more about them since their death or since his death. Sorry, not their death. Do
you ever write her letters in prison?
No, I want to track her down. The thing is, I don't know her real name. I don't know her real name. I only know her as Spoon, but I do know all of her tattoos. I know that she has Taco Bell tattooed on her knuckles. I know that she has a barbed wire around her neck. Taco Bell's on her knuckles. So I have a feeling I could track her down by her tattoos somehow. I don't know why, but I just keep thinking they've got a database of her tattoos. But I've been wanting to track her down because I think it'd be interesting to do a follow-up of this girl,
So you make documentaries, and you do
well,
film
I don't want to claim I do documentaries. They were really silly home movies.
But you make movies too then. Or no?
Well, it's funny because now I'm doing cinematography, and I'm a DP on films right now, but they're not my films. It's Binding Light Pictures films. And right now, today, we're actually filming the last scene for Absolution is Now Public. We're doing that at 3:00 today. But no, and when I was a teenager, it was just my home video camera, and I was just obsessed with taking it everywhere with me and just filming things. I went to a lot of shows in the 90s in Orange County and LA, and I would just sit and film the bands afterwards, just ask them questions and I have all this.
What kind of bands were you filming?
Oh God.
Like who were some of your favorite bands? A little bit about Kat Palmer.
Oh God. See, the thing is when you're a teenager, the taste you have in music changes so much by the time you become an adult that some of them I'm embarrassed to admit, but
come on,
I'll talk about the ones I'm proud to admit that I loved. Now you have to realize I've never listened to the radio. I've never really had cable television, and I've never really been into mainstream movies. So I'm a little offbeat, but so the bands that this one particular band, his name is Jonah, and he was the lead singer of Far back in the 90s. Okay, in '95 he was the lead singer of Far, and then he later went on to do One Line Drawing, and he is an amazing musician. He's one of my favorites. And he's one of the only people that I still follow to this day religiously. And so, cause you're, like I said, your tastes change, and you don't always like, I was really into the ska movement of the 90s, and
I think we all were.
Yeah. And so I'm not really into ska anymore. But back in the day, I used to see a lot of bands at the Ice House, and that was fun. That was before No Doubt made it big. That was when Sublime was a little smaller. That's when Real Big Fish was opening up, for these people. That's when the Knuckle Brothers, who like to get naked on stage, they were around, and that was a fun time in my life. The Ice House was, I want to say it was in Fullerton, and then it eventually closed down. But Dennis, the guy that owned it, he opened up another location called Coos Arts Cafe in Santa Ana, California, and that's where I spent probably 3 to 4 days a week at this place.
So you grew up then in Southern California?
Oh yeah,
See, I grew up in Ventura.
Okay.
So you're probably familiar with that area.
Yeah. So I grew up in Orange County. I was born and raised, and I love it there. But I love living in Salt Lake so much more.
What brought you to Utah then?
Yeah. My grandparents, they raised me, and they moved here in 2000.
Okay.
And that was like heartbreaking for me. And I honestly never thought I'd live in Utah. I'll admit some things here right now that at the time,
Well, back then it was Utah. Salt Lake especially was a much different city.
Yeah, well, I didn't know how cool Salt Lake was. I thought all of Utah was like Provo, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
And so I was a little hesitant to move here and raise my family here. But since living here, I have discovered how, awesome Utah is. And I love Salt Lake City. And I'm so proud to be a part of the community in Salt Lake City. And so I love living here.
Well,
So.
you're up to a lot. You got a lot going on, and
I have a problem with staying busy. I can't keep idle.
That's not a bad thing. So did you, after high school, did you continue any kind of photography?
Oh yeah. So
education,
sorry, I guess I stopped that story.
No.
Yeah. So I did. I went to Orange Coast College, which is actually where I met my friend Damien, who was earlier in the story. And I studied photography there. And the cool thing about that is, even though it was a community college, it was one of the best places to go for photography. John Upton was teaching there, and he's the guy that wrote all the photography books that were used across, the nation in colleges. And so it was an amazing place to go to college, but I have a hard time going to class because I have a hard time just sitting and listening to things going on. So I just wanted to be in the dark room once again, developing and playing around. And so, I really did have a hard time with the education part of it because I just wanted to be creating and doing that part of it. I did not get my degree. I've often thought about, should I have gone back, and gotten my degree.
But you're obviously showing that you don't need a degree.
You don't
necessarily to be a successful
No,
photographer.
you don't. And sometimes in those educational systems, it's easy to get that creativity squashed a little bit. And I'm not encouraging people to not go to school. By all means, go to school, get your education. But for me, I had a hard time with it. And I was talking to my mentor about 8 or 9 years ago. His name's Al Talene, and he's back in the day, like he was one of the big founding fathers of photography here in Utah, and he taught up at the University of Utah for 18 years, and he was best buds with Borg Anderson, who has, he passed away this last year. But I was asking him, should I go back and finish my education? So I'm asking a former college professor this because I'm just like, feeling really insecure about that. And he just said, no. He's like, they can't teach you how to have an eye. Yeah. He's like, you need to keep shooting. You need to keep practicing, invest whatever money you're going to invest in your education, invest that in equipment, and just keep doing it. Yeah. And he gave me some other advice, but he said, so I took what he said to heart because here he is, a former professor, he's my mentor. He's a photographer. And I took what he said to heart, and that's what I did. I just kept shooting. I don't know everything. I'm not one of those super technical photographers that know everything. I'm honestly still learning, every single year. But I love what I do, and I know how to get the image that I want. So,
what type of photography do you do most?
Right now, I'm mainly shooting digital. I do still dabble in film, and I'm actually going back into film for my art. When I'm doing portraitures and weddings and stuff, I'll stick with digital just because it's so simple and cost effective. I mainly, for my art, I mainly am shooting messages of empowerment for women, or things that I feel socially need to be addressed, or politically need to be addressed. But as far as my business goes, I do a lot of families, senior portraits, weddings, that sort of thing. But it's really nice because I'm starting to slow down on purpose a little bit and pull back. I don't want to be as busy with that aspect of things. I would like to focus more on my art. I'd like to focus more on this gallery that I'm a part of, and just other projects that I'm involved with. So I'm the things I'm a little bit less passionate about, I'm kind of cutting
so
back
do
on.
you paint at all then too, or just photography?
No, my children paint better than I do. I am I don't know how to paint. I mean, my skills in that, but I do work with acrylics. When it comes to my mixed media, I work with Xerox transfer spray paint, clear acrylics when it comes to my artwork. And so, but it's all, just layers, and it's not, I don't paint pictures.
So what's your website for people? Go ahead and mention that.
Yeah, it's just my name, actually. It's really easy. It's just katpalmer.com. My name's with a C. Every now and then people spell my name with a K, which I think is funny. But yeah, it's just katpalmer.com. Really simple. And I'm also on Facebook, too. That's where a lot of people follow my work. Yeah. Is on Facebook. So
yeah, no, I've been a Facebook friend of yours for a little while.
Nice.
And I really enjoy your photography.
Let's
talk a little bit about the gallery here that you're the curator of, actually.
And it's actually perfect timing because our executive director, Dyer, has just walked in the gallery.
Excellent.
So it's kind of perfect timing to start talking about the gallery. Yeah. So basically, our grand opening was February 16th. We're located inside the Gateway Mall, and we're right where the old American Eagle used to be, right underneath the bridge across from Bath and Body Works. It's a beautiful location. If you haven't had the chance to get down here, come check it out. I mean, we are free. It's free admission.
It's a great gallery.
Thanks.
It's really beautiful. Yesterday was the first time I actually had a chance to come in here and check it out and really spend some time looking at everything you guys have done.
Thanks. We're actually
job with it.
Today we're actually switching out our exhibits, and so we're hanging a whole new exhibit every month. We feature new artists, and right now I'm discovering a lot of kind of emerging unknown talent in Salt Lake, which has been really exciting to get some of these guys. Colton Evans is one of our new artists, and
how many artists
total here we have about I want to say about 35, 36 that we represent, because we also have this great little boutique here that represents a lot of local handmade work. But on the walls, it's anywhere from 4 to 9 artists that we're representing on the walls any given month. Because it's such a large space, I don't know if we'll ever have a solo show with one artist, because it's a huge space to fill.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Yeah. We also house our art program Connect out of the corner over there, and that's really exciting. That's on the second Friday of every month, from 7 to 9 p.m. And if you want to come for the networking portion, it starts at 6. But artists can bring up to 3 pieces of their work every single month. It's a free program. There's a peer review, so the people that attend vote on their favorite pieces, and the 3 top winning pieces get to be displayed in the gallery all month long. They can sell their work out of here. And then also there's a Critics' Choice Award, and our critic is Cheryl Jillian from Art Access. She's the director over there. And then the Curator's Choice Award. So I get to also pick my favorite piece of the month. So those 5 top winners, they get to display their work out of here every month. At the end of the year, the Utah Arts Alliance, which is the nonprofit that we're under, the Utah Arts Alliance gives away cash to artists at the end of the year. So it's an amazing program. We have a guest speaker that comes out every month. Cassandra Barney was our guest speaker this last Friday, and they talk about their craft, and it's a really, really neat program, bringing people together. So
has the response been pretty good? I mean, down here at the Gateway with the community and people coming in?
The community is excited to have us here. Yeah. They're really, really excited. They want that local feel. They want a gallery where they feel comfortable. They want a lot of the artwork that we're finding here. The artists that come in, they say, I've had a hard time finding where my artwork fits in. I'm so excited to see a gallery where I feel like my art will fit in. Wow. And because we are focused more on the urban feel, everything from street art to fine art, we have everything, represented here. But the response has been overwhelming and supportive. And we have a lot of people that are regulars that pop in, you know, on a weekly basis and come say hi to us. And Friday nights we have performances every Friday night, with the exception of our art program Connect. And you can come here and hang out for free and watch break dancers, watch belly dancers, hip hop, modern dance. I mean, we've always got something going on here. And our executive director, Derek, he's like, I want a DJ to be here. So we try to fill that as much as we can in the evenings. We have DJs come and spin here. And our house DJ is Kira. They just come and donate their time and, you know, create a really great environment. So
are you always looking for new artists then here? Or
on the
local level get in touch?
Yeah, on the website, it's utaharts.org. They can get on there and apply. We do have the year planned out, but in every month that we have themes going on, we have space for 1 to 2 more artists, because it is such a huge space. You know, we have that flexibility. So I would encourage people, you know, go on the website to utaharts.org, go find out how to apply. Basically, it's going to direct you to send 3 to 5 images of your work to me, as well as a bio and a statement talking about your work. But yeah, we're always looking for people. And I would also encourage artists just to come out to connect. It's such a great way it's an easy way to get into the gallery, and it's a great way to connect with other artists. The most exciting thing I feel like we have coming up is the Urban Arts Festival on July 20th.
Okay, yeah, let's talk a little bit about that and how to even get involved in that.
Yes, it's very exciting. So right now, the month of April that we're in, we are accepting applications to be an artist there. And the website for that is urbanartsfest.org. And I do believe that if you even go to our regular website, it can link you over to that. Right now, we're accepting applications. And the cool thing is we are a nonprofit, and we're all about trying to give back to the arts community as much as possible. The fee is free to come in and apply. So just get your application in during the month of April. And to have a booth, it's only going to be $100. And we are taking over the gateway. I mean, literally.
Just like down the street.
We're taking over the whole gateway. It's going to be amazing. We have this whole street. We're going to have 100 art vendors. We have food. We also have a beer garden, a kids yard. We have a fashion show that will be going on. We also have a film festival that's going to be ran by East Hollywood High School, which is a charter high school for film students. And so we have so much going on that day. We also have 3 stages, as well as a bunch of mini stages here for performers. We're going to have a skate park that's being brought in.
Yeah, last year I was at the event last year, and I remember there were skateboarders, graffiti artists.
Yeah, and that's also exciting. We have live demos that will be going on in front of where the Apple store used to be at the other end here. And what's really exciting about that is we have urban street artists that are flying in. They are getting their visas currently right now to fly in to do live demos for us. I mean, it's going to be amazing what we have going on here.
Where are they flying in from?
The one gentleman, he's flying in from Mexico City.
And he's a graffiti artist.
He is. He's a street artist that he's coming in.
Street artist.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay. He's a street urban artist. I feel like sometimes, graffiti can get a bad name, bad rap, And so he's working on getting here in July to be here to be doing demos. And he's one of
What about any local street artists? Are you going to have?
Yeah, we've actually been in the talks with a lot of people, and what's really cool is Shay Peterson. He is co-curating with me next month, actually, and he's pulling in. We're doing a huge theme show with 4 to 5 artists that we're going to be working with. It's an urban street art exhibit that we're going to be doing next month. But yeah, there's going to be a lot going on at the festival this year. It's free to the public, which is really exciting. Yeah. And there's just going to be so much going on July 20th. So just mark your calendars.
I'm assuming it's a Saturday.
It is 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. It's a one-day only festival. We'll be in and out. And
you said bands are going to be playing.
Oh, yeah.
Any idea what bands are going to be playing?
You know what? I am not over that part of the festival. Thankfully, I'm the artist street marketplace coordinator, but Amber has been working diligently on booking those people. And then we also have a DJ booth. And then we also have dance performances going on. There's also going to be poetry slam here. It's going to be amazing. Do we know any of the performances, the bands that are coming?
Just curious.
We're still submitting, accepting.
Because we're still submitting.
Yeah,
we're still accepting.
Bands or listening, musicians.
And in May we will have finalized that list. So I don't know if we're allowed to.
It's still early. It's still early.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have the B-Boy Federation here, the 14th Ward, belly hip hop dancing. I believe that they're going to be involved on some level.
Yeah.
The slap percussion group. I was hoping to get the Samba Foga group.
I remember last year there was a band that was like playing like pails or the big.
Yeah, that's the slap. That's the slap percussion group that we're hoping to get back this year.
That blew me away. I was just quite impressed with them.
Yeah,
and so you'll have probably quite a few more vendors if you have all this space here at the Gateway.
Right, and we have Anna West doing our PR, and she does an amazing job. She does an amazing job, and so. Yeah, so get those applications in. Musicians, bands, performance groups, get those applications in. And artists, please apply.
Yeah, excellent. So again, this is your address, actually, 663 West 100 South.
That is the Utah Arts Alliance address.
Oh, that's okay. That's
okay.
Yeah. Wrong
that's just
address.
That's okay. That's just 2 blocks over. And that's the Arts Hub. That's actually where I have my studio. My studio is out of that location. And it's a great location for artists. I do believe they have maybe 2 to 3 studios available for rent. Maybe. Okay, we might only have one left over there. It's pretty full. It's an amazing space if you've never been there. But yeah, here at the Gateway, we're actually located at 137 South Rio Grande.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to re-mention that address again. Anything else you want to mention about the art space or anything like that? And
well, we are. I guess I want them to know when we're open. We're open Tuesday through Saturday, 12 to 8 p.m. Oftentimes when we have events going on, we're open until about 9 or 10. But our official store hours are 12 to 8, Tuesday through Saturday. Sundays, we're open 12 to 6 p.m. And we are closed on Mondays. We take a day.
Take a day to relax.
We do take a day off, which I look forward to those Mondays just to have a day. So
well, and I just have a few questions for you. I always like to, when the person I'm talking to, kind of find out, what they love about Salt Lake.
Sure.
And I know we touched briefly on that you love the local community here.
I do.
What are some other things that you love about Salt Lake City?
Oh my goodness. Besides it being a beautiful place to live, and it's a very clean city. As far as I know we're not a humongous city, which I kind of love that we're a smaller, big city. We're a very clean city, which I love that about this. I feel very proud when I have family and friends come visit and I can show them the city. But the local arts community here, I think over this last year it's just really touched my heart. Last year, my husband and I, we were both artists in the Utah Arts Festival, and the arts community just came together. They realized we were going to have 2 booths there. Mm-hmm. They just start calling me nonstop, dropping things off at my studio. Do you need this? Do you need this? Do you need this? And people were showing up to help us set up, take down. Just the amount of love that exists in this art community is wonderful. And I don't know if it can be found anywhere else in the United States, or I guess even the world. I just feel like time and time again, this arts community has my back, and it's a nice feeling. I feel a lot of love from the community here, but that is one of the things I do love about this city. In other cities, it's very competitive. There's not a real connection amongst those artists. It's very distant, and then you just don't have that feeling here.
And being a California transplant, I'm sure you really can notice
it's
that
much different.
Feel that.
It's much different. And so, you feel the love here in Salt Lake, that's for sure. And we have great things going on. There's a lot of people, often say there's not enough diversity or culture, but there's actually quite a bit in the city of Salt Lake. There's a lot going on, and I love that. There's great food here, and
what are some of your favorite local places? I always like to get recommendations.
Yeah, I have a lot of places.
For people listening. I get a lot of people that listen to the podcast that are either moving here or visiting here. They've kind of emailed me and said, hey, I'm going to be visiting Salt Lake. I'm so glad I found the podcast.
Nice.
What are some good recommendations?
I love the 10 Angel Cafe.
I haven't eaten there yet.
Oh, please go in. So they are locally ran. They are on 400 South and 400 West. And they use a lot of local organic foods in their cooking. They support a lot of local farmers, local bakeries. They embrace what it is to be a community. And the food is top notch. It's a little bit more expensive, but you get what you pay for. You're getting really quality food there. I absolutely love the 10 Angel Cafe.
Where are they located?
400 South and 400 West. They're right there, just almost on the corner, across from Pioneer Park. I absolutely love them. And if you go there, you'll find one of my old photographs. It's on their bathroom door of the women's bathroom, which is kind of cool. It was just an old advertisement I have. They just kind of slipped in there, and it's been their kind of permanent placement for their women's restroom. But I love the 10 Angel. I love Oasis Cafe, Stone Ground Restaurant. I love Trio Cafe.
There's probably so many that
There's
you'd
so many
hate to forget one.
great. I know, right? But there is so many yummy places to eat in Salt Lake, which is really fun.
With summertime right around the corner. I mean, that's to me, that's one of the most exciting times in
And
Salt
the
Lake
farmers
City.
market.
Exactly. I mean, I was just curious some things you're looking forward to with summertime right around the corner.
Yeah, the farmers market, going swimming. I love being in the water, whitewater rafting.
Yeah.
We have so many outdoor things to do here in Salt Lake. It's amazing. I wanted to see if we could pull Dyer into this and see if you have any questions for him.
Yeah, let's bring him into the conversation here.
Yeah.
And talk about. So, Derek Dyer, what is your role with the Utah Arts Alliance, and what?
I'm the founder and executive director of the Arts Alliance.
Okay. And what? I mean, explain a little bit about what that is for people listening. That.
Well, Utah Arts Alliance, we're actually celebrating our 10-year anniversary next month. We were founded in 2003 with the mission of fostering the arts in all forms in order to create an aware, empowered, and connected community. And so kind of a broad mission, pretty lofty goal there to try to obtain. So basically some of the things we do is we have 4 venues in Salt Lake City. This Urban Arts Gallery is one of them. We also have the Main Street, the Utah Arts Alliance Gallery on Main Street.
Where's that located?
It's 127 South Main Street.
Okay.
It's right downtown. Within the Main Street Center where we have the gallery, we also have our recording studio. We have a record label and a music publishing arm out of there. So that's called Midnight Records, Utah Arts Alliance Midnight Records.
And what a recording studio, recording local bands?
Yeah.
Like what kind of bands? Like, talk a little bit about that. I haven't even heard of that.
Well, this Saturday we had a CD release party for one of the recent recordings we did of Dark Sea.
Okay.
Dark Seas. We've recorded Max Payne and the Groovies.
Okay, excellent.
All Wild Birds. We've probably recorded 40 albums in the last couple of years out of there, and so several have gone on to win local awards, for Album of the Year and stuff like that.
And what makes you like a band? Do they contact you if they want to record out of there, or is it just something that you contact them?
Yeah. No, they contact us. You can visit Midnight Record Studios or just go to the UtahArts.org, and there's a link on there to the recording studio site. Basically, our goal is just to provide quality, fine recording services at a nonprofit rate, and so basically, it's one of the least expensive
ways to
get your album out there. And then, if you're interested, we also just recently have a music publishing utility out of there that we can actually not only produce the CDs or whatever, but also we're starting a download service where people can download directly from the Midnight Records website.
That's excellent. And you mentioned, so that was, what are other locations?
And then we have the SLC Arts Hub, which is a huge complex that includes 35 artist studio spaces, dance studios, photography studio. We have woodworking shop, ceramic studio, all different sorts of things going on in there. We also house office space for other nonprofits. And so we have many different groups: Samba Fogo, B-Boy Fed, Salt Lake Capoeira, People Productions, LaRouge Entertainment, Human Rights Education Center, on and on and on. Yeah.
And you said it's been around, the Utah Arts Alliance has been around about 10 years.
We've been around 10 years.
And have you been involved the whole time pretty much? Or when did you get involved?
Yeah, I'm the founder.
Oh, the founder.
Yeah.
There you go, the founder.
Yeah.
You probably mentioned that.
Yeah.
But.
So we do a lot of different things within that. Our 4th location is the Cube, which will be opening in June, and that's a black box theater performing arts space. And that is on the next to the Arts Hub. So basically, it's 633 West, so just on the other side of our parking lot there. And that'll be a nice little intimate venue for small theatrical productions, dance performances, and also live music. And with that, we're also creating a community art garden space, and so that'll also be up and going in the next month or so. And so that's kind of a cross between a community garden and a sculpture garden. So we have murals that have gone up on all of the walls. We'll be placing about 12 pieces of large scale sculptural pieces in there. And then we'll have 41 raised bed planter boxes. That everything will be done really artistically and beautifully, and it'll also give people in the community an opportunity to grow their own food.
garden.
Yeah,
Excellent.
So.
And I mean, obviously, I mean, you stay pretty busy as well as like Kat was talking about. But I mean, what motivates you to do all this? I mean, to stay sane during this and just keeps you driven. What motivates you?
I don't know if anyone would say that I've stayed sane, but thank you. I mean,
well,
that's just what
sane.
I just love to do it. I don't really know how it all happened. It's just kind of as life progresses, things happen. And I mean, I feel really lucky to have this responsibility to do all of these things and support the community. And I feel like the community has supported me right back 10 times, that amount. And so, yes, very busy, lots going on. I wouldn't have it any other way really though. So
it's good to stay busy. Did you grow up here in Salt Lake then?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are some of your favorite things about Salt Lake City? I'm always, when people I talk to, I mean, besides obviously running the Utah Arts Alliance, I mean, what are some other things you like about living in the city?
I love Salt Lake. The fact that I've been here my whole life pretty much, with a couple little short excursions when I tried to move out of the state.
Well, people move out, but then they always find they come back.
Yeah.
There's something that draws people back.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I love Salt Lake, and I do travel a lot, but there's few places that I actually go to and think I would rather live here than Salt Lake City. We have a wonderful art community. The creativity that comes out of this city is
it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, we have a great music scene. We have the city government and the county government more and more has been more supportive of artists. And it's just really amazing to see how far we've progressed in the last 10 years. Like the Urban Arts Festival is a good example of that. When I was younger growing up, everything that the Urban Arts Festival is about was basically illegal or considered bad, or possibly you could get arrested for it. Skateboarding, street art, just even looking different.
Yeah.
And now, that's just commonplace. It's almost mainstream. All of the, just the fact that the city's grown up and matured and appreciates culture more. Yeah, it's just a great city. I mean, there a lot of the places Kat mentioned, obviously, we have great food here too.
Yeah. Let's say somebody was visiting. I mean, what is one thing that you would just tell them, you got to check this out? The Urban Arts Gallery. I mean, besides
check out the Urban Arts Gallery.
Yeah.
One of the things with the Urban Arts Gallery is we wanted it to be really accessible. You feel comfortable here, and you also feel like it's kind of a party whenever you're here.
Yeah.
Rather than just coming on opening night and then it's a special night. Almost every night we have a DJ playing. It's just a really fun atmosphere. Other than that, UMOCA has some good exhibits. You can always count on that. The Utah Arts Alliance Gallery on Main Street always has some pretty intriguing exhibits going on. Leonardo, depending on what they're doing.
Yeah, excellent. Isn't the Salt Lake Library beautiful? I mean, they really did a great job building the library.
Yeah. I like some of the little kitschy places, Blue Plate Diner,
delicious food. Delicious.
Places that you can only find in Salt Lake,
Yeah.
So if anyone comes to Salt Lake and they eat at a chain restaurant,
let's go to McDonald's.
Just whenever I'm traveling, I ask the local people, where do you eat? Where do you go? And so there's a lot to be discovered in Salt Lake.
There really is, and I'm discovering new things every day, and I've lived here for years and years and years. But I appreciate talking with you. I mean, what's the website? Let's see, UtahArts.org. Is that the best website to check out?
Yeah, UtahArts.org is kind of the catch-all of everything that we do. And then if you're specifically, interested in the Urban Arts Festival, it's urbanartsfest.org.
Which get your applications in for that too, if you want to be a vendor, right? And whatnot.
Yeah, that's right. We have room for 100 artists, and so we'll be selecting them depending on their work and how well it would fit within the feel of the festival. And that'll be an amazing time. We're like Kat said, we're closing off Well, we're taking over Gateway. All of the stores will still be open, of course, but we're closing down the streets.
You're going to make them shut the town down just for you guys, right?
Yeah. So it'll be amazing. We'll have a skate park. We're working with We Are One Skate Park, as well as Slug Magazine, to do our skate competition. We'll have breakdancing competitions, live street art demos. Some of the best art you'll find in any festival will be available for purchase. So bring your money.
Yeah.
And
support local.
Yep, exactly. And admittance to the festival this year is free. You have no reason to not come.
Excellent. One more time, the address for the gallery down here. It's
137 South Rio Grande Street.
So come down, check it out. It's really a beautiful spot if you haven't had an opportunity to come down and check it out. Thank you so much for letting me record here today and talk to you guys. I mean, it's been really, really fun.
Thank you.
Oh, you bet. And get involved. I mean, how can the community, say someone's not an artist, is there any way that the community can get involved with the Utah Arts Alliance?
Absolutely. They can go to the website and sign up for our newsletter if they just want some general information. We also have a lot of volunteer opportunities. What else do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. We are always looking for volunteers. And on the website at utaharts.org, you can click on how to be a volunteer. And it's a great environment, great energy here. I love the volunteers that we work with on a regular basis. So,
anything else you guys want to add before we close out? I know you guys got to get opened up here for the day and whatnot. Anything else? I found out a lot. I again, thank you so much for letting me talk.
Thank you so much.
You bet. Many thanks goes out to Kat Palmer and Derek Dyer for coming on the show and sharing your story and information about the Utah Arts Alliance. Again, head on over to utaharts.org and find out how you can get involved. Check out the gallery down at the Gateway Mall in downtown Salt Lake City. The show notes are at episode 60 at iamsaltlake.com. Head on over to the website. That way you can connect and get involved with the podcast as well. Hopefully building the community and letting you guys know about the people in the area that are making stuff happen and making Salt Lake City just a little bit better. I am on Twitter at twitter.com/iamsaltlake, Facebook, facebook.com/iamsaltlake. Connect with me and follow along. Also, subscribe to us on iTunes. Leave us a review on iTunes. That helps boost our rankings in iTunes, and it gets us exposed to more people, and more people find out about the show. I'm going to end the show, like I said, with a song by Baby Ghosts. The song is Your Dad's Friends Were Babies Anyways. Great band from Utah County. Drop me an email, iamsaltlake@gmail.com, and tell me who you would like to hear featured on the I Am Salt Lake podcast. This is Baby Ghosts. Thanks for listening.